Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's a Tuesday afternoon here along Beverly Creek, north of Ellensburg in central Washington, USA. Thanks for joining us. This is a little quick Nick on the fly, talking about a very unusual rock that actually is very common right here, but in the grand scheme of things, worldwide, this rock is very, very unusual. Let me grab a couple pieces for you real quick. You can enjoy the wildflowers while I do that. I kind of wanted to find some weathered stuff for you too. I guess we'll start with the fresh looking stuff. The sun's out right at the moment. So can you notice a green color? Can you notice that it's kind of waxy? Another sample, a little bit smaller. This is serpentinite. Did you guess that? Is it maybe in the title of the program? And every rock that you see here on this Beverly Turnpike Trail is serpentinite. So I've been out here for, gosh, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours now, covering a lot of ground, working the knees pretty good. And the millions and millions of rocks that I've been able to find, nothing but serpentinite, which is a very specific story. Kind of had you hanging in a tree there. It's a very specific story, and let me give it to you very quickly, and then we'll take a little walk, you and I, if you're interested. So the story here is that, Gizmo, come on, behave. This metamorphic rock called serpentinite is 150 million years old. That's back in the age of the dinosaurs. That's back during the Mesozoic era. And there's a lot, if you look in places, there's a lot of this green, waxy serpentinite throughout the American West. The very west coast, just the last westernmost states and provinces have this serpentinite. And if you haven't heard the story, serpentinite forms in the deep oceans. And also, if you haven't heard the story, serpentinite is commonly associated with Baja-BC. The concept that you can actually take large sections of the very westernmost edge of North America and move it thousands of miles. In this case, more than 1,500 miles from what was then Mexico to what is now northern Washington, north central Washington. So this little walk we're going to do, and it's just going to be, I don't know, 1 minute or so coming up the trail, but I just came through this over my shoulder. You can see the trail. I'll just walk you back up that way. I just crossed over a really impressive rock slide, and I don't know, can I swing this way and up? There's a big steep cliff of serpentinite where there's a very active series of rock falls that are continually sloughing off of that hill. And so it's just millions of little pieces and big pieces of serpentinite to study. And if you're like, well, just before we start our walk, let's just do one more thing. So are we really saying that the San Andreas Fault, which is the main fault today, the main plate boundary today, are we really saying it's the San Andreas Fault that did the moving? And the answer is no. The San Andreas Fault began 20 million years ago, and this business of moving rock north out of Mexico happened between 85 and 55 million years ago. But we can picture San Andreas Fault-like structures where there's an earthquake and the west side of the fault shifts north, maybe 20 feet at a time, 20 feet at a time, 20 feet at a time, but if you have millions of years to do that movement, you can eventually take sections of crust and move them this far north. Okay, that's enough for the kind of heavy lifting mentally for us. Let me flip you around and we'll take a little walk. Liz and Corey are out here somewhere, but we had a miscommunication, I guess, so I assume I'll see them at the car at some point. I got the keys, so I'm not being ditched. Can I move you around? Can I flip you around? What's this? What? I can't move you, I can't flip you around? What the frick? Hang on a second. looking at the Stuart Range in the distance. Beautiful jagged spires made of a 93 million year old granodiorite. Off to your left is green and orange bedrock. That's the 150 million year old serpentinite of the Ingalls Tectonic complex. And then there are some spires through here. In the foreground, that orange spire. And if I can go up to the upper right here, a feeder dike. A feeder dike, come on Gizmo. A feeder dike of the Teanaway basalt formation. So that's 49 million years old. Stuff in the foreground is 150 million years old. And the Stuart Range in the distance, 93 million years old. Wonderful place, even with wind and clouds. Thank you. All right, well, there's nothing special here. I just picked this guy to zoom in on here a little bit for you. Quite a green, glassy look. Waxy look, maybe is more appropriate. Let's walk down the trail a little bit. We'll pause at a few more nice samples. Shall we? Come on, Gizmo, settle down. This whole drainage with Beverly Creek in it. And it's not just Beverly Creek drainage, there's a lot of drainages up here just south of the Stuart Range that are just 100% serpentinite. Like I've been hiking for so long today, and you see nothing but this green rock. I mean, it is everywhere. And yet in this grand scheme of things, worldwide, serpentinite, I would say, is not a very common rock. If you ask somebody in Siberia about serpentinite, I don't think they're going to have much to say. Or Chicago, Illinois. And sometimes it weathers. Oh, let me get this out in the sun. Sometimes this very green rock weathers to a real bright orange, kind of a deep orange. So these two guys are the same rock, but this is the fresh look. In other words, this is what it looks like on the inside. It actually feels real smooth, like a snake skin. And here's a more weathered piece. And probably even if we broke this guy open, we'd still get orange, but on a grander scale, you realize that the inside of this cliff, the inside of this mountain is nothing but the green serpentinite. And we're seeing a bunch of this fresh looking green stuff because this has been such an active rock slide. How about a little bit more walking back down to my backpack? Oh, that's a nice piece here. Let's get on. I wish I can't lift it for you. It's too big. Isn't that nice? Look at how shiny that is. You get a sense of that's about as fresh as it gets. I don't know why this surface is so fresh like this. I'm gonna get it out of the trail. Oh, come on, baby. Circle around. That's a keeper. That is a keeper. Not flipping you off. Beautiful. It's almost bluish. I don't know if you can see that. Get out of my own shadow. God, man, that's one of the best pieces I think I've seen. We'll keep it right next to the trail for the next person to enjoy. It's the first week of July, and at this particular elevation, the flowers are really out. Scarlet gillia, I believe. A bunch of lupin. Other stuff I don't know. And I might be wrong on one of those two as well. But if you're a flower person, it's a bunch of lupin, right? Still struggling with my gizmo driving here. Thank you for your patience. Scarlet gillia, I do believe. Central Washington, not bad, huh? About a 45-minute drive from the backyard out to here, and a couple hours of hiking to get up into this country.